Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Look here, let me give you a quick recap. You know, Shirley been putting in work for the feds, and she done got all the information that they need from her, and plus they done flipped another one of the vice lords that's on the town and got him to wire up the whole playhouse that all the vice lords on the streets go to, right? But Shirley made a bad move. She ended up telling her boyfriend that's at the penitentiary, you know what I'm saying, what she been doing, right? And the feds heard it all on the phone because her phone was still tapped, even though they don't need it no more, right? So now the feds is on the way to the penitentiary to talk to him and see if he can offer them any useful information that they can use to take down the whole vice lord mob, right? And if they can't get any information out of him worth anything, then guess what? He's gonna go down with the rest of them. So he has to put in work. So the feds get to the penitentiary, right? And they got him out in the visitation area. Now, keep in mind, look here, feds are slick. They smart. So a few days before they went out, a couple of hours before they went out there, they called the prison and told him to tell him he got a legal visit coming. A legal visit as a lawyer. So when they show up, they look like lawyers. They don't look like no fed. And they gave him cover from everybody in the penitentiary. Talking about where you going during the day. See, because ain't no visits during the week in certain prisons. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody shows up during the day, it's usually something that, you're going to court or the police come to see you or you got a new indictment or whatever. When you go down front, it's not good most of the time. It's not good. So it makes people ask questions. And plus down front is what a captain officer is and all this and that, right? So a lot of people, they be going down front to be snitching. So that's what he has to be concerned about. So he knew that something was up, right? Because he didn't have no lawyer. His case had been settled. He finna get out of the penitentiary in about a year and a half. So he trying to be like, okay, what's going on? So he goes down there. He figuring that Shirley done put in work for him, right? So he gets down there and he's talking to his lawyers, right? The feds, about everything that Shirley told him. So they tell him, hey, look, we've talked to Miss Shirley and she's been very cooperative with us and helping us on this case, and she's begged us to come talk to you. They're trying to make it seem like they're doing her a favor, right? And she's begged us to come to talk to you to see if there's anything that you can add to help us with this case so that you don't have to go back to the penitentiary after you get out. You don't have to go to the federal penitentiary, right? So he tells them, he said, well, I know some names of people, this, that, and the third. They said, we got all that. Well, what about the dope? We got all that. They said, what can you tell us about how the vice lords operate that we don't already know? Tell us something that we don't already know. Well, how about that? So he told him, he said, I know a lot of brothers all the time be talking about, prostitution, and they got these girls in these houses out here on the town. So one of the feds said, so you telling me that the vice lords are into human trafficking? And he said, well, I don't know about no human trafficking, but they prostitute. He said, that's human trafficking. That's sex trafficking. That's sex trafficking. That's what that is. So they said, who's in charge? And he told them who was in charge, right? And he said, is there any way that you can talk to him? And he said, I don't know. It just depends. You know what I'm saying? I don't know no reason that I would even need to talk to him. Tell him that you're trying to find some girls for a party. Find some girls for a party? Yeah. Tell him you got a family member that's got a bachelor party coming up and he got money. And you want to make sure that you have some girls there for this bachelor party. So the vice lord dude, he started laughing. He said, that's good. That's good right there. I'd have never thought of that. Not taking it serious as he should be. Because they looking at him like, okay, can you do this? And if you can do this, we'll give you the same deal that we're going to give Shirley. You're going to be on probation, but you're going to have to testify to this, but you're not going back to the penitentiary. He said, I'm going to have to testify. Yeah, you're going to have to testify. You're going to have to get on the stand unless they plead guilty. You're going to have to get on the stand. He said, so they going to know I did it? He said, son, they going to know you did it. And plus, it don't matter at this point. They going to know that the girl that you involved with, that you in love with, is the reason that all of y'all are going to go to the penitentiary. So you better be worried about yourself and not them. See, they hit him with that hard facts right there. You see what I'm talking about? So then he starts to think about it. And he does like everybody else. Self-preservation, y'all. Number one rule in the jungle. Self-preservation. So he said, man, give me a couple of days. They said, we got you. But they said, look here, this is what we need you to do. And they took out this little chip, a little microchip. And they handed it to him, right? You know, on the SIM cards. They said, look, take this and put this in your phone. He said, I ain't got no phone. They looked at him and said, son, we listened to you talk to Shirley last night. We know you got a phone. The warden knows you got a phone. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Okay? Take this and put this in your phone when you talk to them. He said, what is this? He said, take this and put this in your phone. So the deputy warden, he's standing right there. And he's listening to the whole conversation, right? And he tells him, take the chip and put it in your phone. He said, this is how crazy some people can be. Let's check it out. So dude is sitting there, he's saying, so am I going to get a write-up for the phone? The deputy warden just looked at him, then looked at the Fed. And they all three of them just shook their heads. This is what we dealing with, y'all. This is what you worrying about getting a write-up for a phone. These folks talking about putting you in the federal penitentiary for a long time. And you worrying about getting a write-up for a phone. The folks know you got the phone. So don't worry about that. So he take the chip, put it in the pocket. They said, be careful with that. Don't break that. Put that in your phone. And he said, as soon as you get back, put it in your phone and then call this number. They give him a number. So he goes back. They work out the deal. He agrees to everything. He goes back, puts the chip in there and calls them. It's activated. Anything he says on that phone from here on out, any number he calls from here on out, any number they call in from here on out, they going to get it. Same time he get it, they going to get it. They locked in. So they tell him, look, make sure you tell him that you need some girls for a bachelor party, and we're going to give you the address later. And he said, I got you. So he go to the top-ranking vice lord that's on the compound, and he tell him, look, man, my family, you know what I'm saying, he finna get married, blase, skippy, this, that, and the third, and all that there, right? And we trying to throw him a bachelor party, right? And we need some girls, man. Can we get some girls? So the vice lord dude looking at him like, what you talking about? I said, come on, bro. I know y'all got the girls working out of the junk down at the shake junk, blase, skippy, all this and that and third, right? And he look at him, he's like, yeah. He said, but we don't be doing no bachelor party. He said, man, this is money. He got money, man. And then they asked him, how much money? He said, man, I don't know, but he got money, man. It's going to be worth it. So the vice lord dude said, let me make a call, man. So he go make a call. On the phone that bro got. He called the dude that's in charge of the shake joint out there. He said, look here. Bro got a family member that's getting married, man. He wants to have some guys at the bachelor party. You know what I'm saying? Can we do that? So the dude on the other end of the phone, another top-ranking vice lord, he said, yeah, we can do that. He said, but tell him it's going to cost him 5 stacks. 5 stacks. So he go back and he tell the vice lord dude that it's going to cost 5 stacks, right? He said, man, let me call my brother, man, and let him know, and then he going to go holler at my family and see if they can afford that before we agree to that, right? He said, okay, then you just get back at me later, right? So the young vice lord dude go back to his cell. He gets on the phone. He called the feds. He tell the feds what's going on, even though they heard the whole conversation. They said, look, tell them no problem. We got it. Tell them they'll get the money when they get there, when they bring the girls over, right? So he said, okay then. So he goes back and he tell the vice lord that's over him, it's a deal. I got you. Now, he knows that after this goes down, that ain't nothing going to be the same no more for him and Shirley. So when he goes back to his cell, he calls the feds on the phone. And he tells them, he said, look, what's going to happen when the girls get to the place? He said, we're arresting everybody. He said, what's going to happen to me? And the feds had already prepared for it. They said at that time, if everything goes according to plan, you're going to be moved. And he said, I'm going to be moved. He's like, yeah, we're going to move you to protective custody in a federal facility. He said, I'm going fed? He said, yeah, you going fed. What's wrong with you? He's not thinking. This is serious stuff. You feel me? So he gets off the phone. He said, look, and don't be on this phone because we can hear everything you're talking about. Don't be on this phone. He said, can I take the chip out and call him again? He said, no. Do not make a call from this phone. Period. Put the phone up. He said, after the night, you're leaving. It doesn't matter. So he said, okay. You know, he ain't listening. He ain't listening. He ain't listening at all. So The deal goes down. The vice lord dude, they deliver the gals, about 8 gals, to the address. And when they get there, they all go up in there, and it looks like it's ready. The place is decorated like it's ready to have a bachelor party and all this and that. So when they get up in there, and then the dude that delivered the gas there, he a vice lord dude, big dude. He gets to the bar, and he's like, man, let me get my money, and then I'll go, and then I'll come back and get them in an hour, right? He said, oh, yeah, I got you, right? So the Fed dude reached behind the counter. Everybody in the building, the Fed, even some of the waitresses and people that serving drinks, right? He reaches behind the counter. He grabs his ID. He said, hold up, you are under arrest. So dude turned and look around, right? Everybody's standing there. Ain't no music playing now. And it dawned on him, oh, it's over with. So a couple of the girls, they try to break toward the door and run, right? No, ain't no getting out of here. So they arrest all 8 girls and the dude, right? And they confiscate all their phones. Can't nobody call nobody. The Fed dude get on the phone. He calls the warden. He tells the warden, get him ready. So they go to his cell and they get him, pack him up. Now everybody's looking like, what's going on? Because they got 2 officers outside his cell while he packing up all this stuff. And they take him out of the facility, right? They swoop down and they grab Shirley, they get her. And then after they get them in a safe place, right? Both of them together, but they're separate because they ain't gonna put them together because he's still in custody. She's not in custody like he is, right? You feel what I'm saying? So what they do, now they go back to the prison and they get all the vice lords, they lock them up. Then they go to the playhouse, get all the vice lords and lock them up, right? And then it hits the news. 38 vice lords is all over the TV. Busted. Massive sweep. Sex trafficking, drug trafficking, arms dealings. They got them all. Everything. They confiscated tons of dope, plenty of money, everything. And now they all sitting in the federal facility. Except one person. Except one person. The vice lord dude that was with Shirley. The vice lord dude that was with Shirley. They can't find him nowhere. And then they start to talk. Wait a minute. They came and got him, and then all of a sudden they came and got all of us. He's like, man, you think bro did this? Some of them didn't want to believe it, but the evidence was too strong. And then they were like, man, they gal. Because see, now when they all in the Fed tank, the ones that was on the outside is inside now. And they all starting to talk to each other. And that's the thread. That's the common thread. Shirley and the vice lord in the penitentiary. That's the common thread. That is it. They're like, man, what done happened? So now they sitting in jail, waiting to go be arraigned. And when they get arraigned, then that's when the state prosecutor, not the state state, I'm talking about the federal prosecutor that's involved for that region, he's standing up and he's reading off these charges. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the judge is reading off these charges and he's like, yes. And all of them standing there in rows. It's 38 of them. Got all of them. Big deal, all over the news, all in the newspapers. They don't mention the vice lord dude that was in the penitentiary. They don't mention Shirley's name. They said unindicted co-conspirators. Unindicted co-conspirators. That means that they was a part of it, but they're not being indicted for it. So what does that mean? Witness for the prosecution. And here we go. It's about to go down. So now, all of them get appointed lawyers. And when you get appointed a lawyer, I'm speeding it up a little bit. When you get appointed a lawyer, you also get the opportunity to get all the evidence against you, right? You file a motion of discovery. When they file a motion of discovery, they turn over everything, witnesses, everything, photos, everything. And lo and behold, Miss Shirley's name is all over the paperwork. It tells how she got popped, tells everything. You understand what I'm saying? It tells everything. And then it talks about the vice lord dude that she met in the penitentiary. They all on the TV. And check this out. The dude that got the original letter from Shirley, he's sitting in his cell and he's looking at TV. He said, oh man, I missed that. I dodged the bullet. That could have been me. Could have took him down. So now Shirley and the vice lord dude, right, he got about another 9 months and his state time gonna be over. And they gonna give him probation on the federal time, right? After he testified. But if his state time run out before they go to trial, because you know people delaying and putting off and all this and that, right? Then they're gonna release him. And him and Shirley are going to be set up in witness protection in another state until it's time to go to trial. Match made in heaven, ain't it? Because they said they in love. But here come the trial day. Trial day come up. And I'm going to tell you something. People can underestimate the power of games if they want to. Sometimes it gets crucial, sometimes it don't. Most of the time, you hear a lot of dudes talking about this rah-rah stuff. They ain't on there. You feel me? But it was a couple of guys in this suite that's on there. And they had connections. They were making calls. They were not trying to spend the rest of their lives in the penitentiary. Because like I told you, ain't none of these dudes in their mid-30s. They 30 and under. You know what I'm saying? Like 35 and under. They got a lot of life left. And they looking at it like, I ain't going down like this. I ain't going down like it. And see, some of them has started to crack. You know what I'm saying? Some of them has started to crack because the feds got a saying. Why do 10 when you can tell on a friend? You feel me? So some of them starting to crack and trying to make deals because they got their lawyers working on it, trying to ease them out. Because some of them are more culpable than others. You feel what I'm saying? But all of them looking at a lot of time. So as the deals are being made, it's a couple of the brothers that ain't going. So they make a call, right? They trying to get the vice lord, the young vice lord brother, and they trying to get Shirley. But they don't know where they at. They don't know where they at. So the 9 months done ran out, so he free. They got him in protection somewhere. And they're together, they think. So when they come to court, they have some of the guys come to the court and listen to the hearing, and then when they leave, they follow these feds. Now the feds ain't stupid though. They've been trained for this. You talking about people in the streets trained to go? No, the feds is trained to go, man. And then the thing about that, they got the power of the law behind them bullets they gonna be shooting at you. They ain't going to jail. They doing a job. You feel me? If a civilian get the shooting, you better be in the right or you going to jail. But when you're dealing with gang stuff, you ain't in the right, you going to jail. So these vice lords, they follow, they see them. So the feds, they bold. They got 3-car caravan, right? With 3 SUVs. So they pull over. 2 of them pull over and spin around and stop the traffic in the street. But one number the vice lords follow. And the other van, it just kept going, right? So they get out the car. They got the pistols drawn. They said, stop your car. Get out. So the vice lords that's in the cars that was following, they open the door and get out and lay down on the ground. They said, what y'all doing following us? They said, get the stuttering and all this and that, right? So then they go to the car. They find them things up in them SKs, ARs, all up in the car. Grabbed them, took them down, called for the police, took them down, fed, charged them. Now they in the tank with the dudes that made the call. And all of them looking at each other like, it's over, we through. Now let me speed it up a little bit. Time passed, time to go to trial. Star witnesses, Shirley and the vice lord dude. They get up in there, raise their right hand, and swear to this and swear to that, and then they get to run in their mouth, and then they backing it up with the tape, they backing it up with the wire, and all this and that. And next thing you know, the jury get the case, the jury go back, they come back out, guilty on all counts. Send them away. Some of them got 30, 40 years. You understand what I'm saying? Some of them vice lords that went down, all they were doing is paying their dues and coming to the playhouse every now and then. But they had real jobs going to work. They weren't in the street. But see, what happened was this. See, some of the money that they were paying dues with was being used to buy weapons, being used to buy guns, and all that old kind of stuff, right? And if your money is being used to buy weapons and used to buy guns, illegal stuff and all this and that, right? Then guess what? You are part of the conspiracy. Yeah, you didn't know that? You didn't know that. Say it ain't so. Yeah, if you're paying dues to an organization and the money from that organization is being used to run a criminal enterprise, guess what? You are on the hook for that. They don't care if you participating in the activities or not. Stop playing. We dealing with the feds, fool. Don't you know? Don't you know? And if you didn't know, now you know. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker.